Yes, my people, as the halt, it don't happen. No. Just as Nigeria currency they shake, Labour Party they shake, PDP they shake. Now even APC self don't see doing the opposition with the APC they shake. Then too don't see they shake. Now there's a belief that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu won't drop a vice presidential candidate, vice president of Nigeria. He say won't drop him for the upcoming presidential election we want for 2027. Just listen to this APC spokesman see drop or see talk waiting fee concerning this particular topic. And you are watching, please can you hit like button, share with everybody with the debate on this particular topic.
Taking pleasure in watching the opposition in disarray, and at this moment I can see that the opposition are also taking pleasure in seeing the APC in somewhat of a disarray. But my main question to you is, do you think that there are now challenges and pressures around this Muslim ticket? Is it possible that there is pressure that a Christian needs to be brought onto this ticket for 2027?
That has not become part of the conversation, but I think it should become part of the conversation. Also, we must look at it against the background of what has transpired in the first 2 years of this regime. Is there a clear indication in public consciousness that there's a partiality towards any particular religion because of those in power? People are in a position to assess that for themselves. But yes, for the optics and for the sense of equity, I think that should be considered going forward. But again, I'd like to add a caveat that you usually hear the various religious groups, the dominant ones, Christians and Muslim leaders, talking about tickets, talking about all sorts of things when it comes to power. You don't hear them when you're speaking of corruption. You don't see them feeling uncomfortable that some of those accused of corruption are very prominent and visible in their religions. You don't see them complaining about blasphemy or desecration of a place of worship. When somebody in office comes in to worship with people carrying guns, probably to protect him from the Almighty, you don't see them raising the issues spiritual leaders should raise. It is to grumble about positioning. And whatever happens in those positions, it doesn't matter. He's our man. So I'd like to add that while saying that, yes, it will be better optics to have that kind of balance given the kind of country we have. This is no longer June 12th. When Nigerians as Nigerians said, we want this man to be our president, it doesn't matter who he was running with. Nobody thought or knew that Muslim ticket meant anything because of the excitement about Abiola. Since that's not the Nigeria we have now, I think it would help to think through the optics and consider the kind of ticket that will create a sense of, that kind of balance, even if it's purely farcical and artificial. Yeah, it should be something to consider going forward, I believe.
Okay. I'd like to ask you this. Isn't it a shocking indictment on all of us as a nation that over 200 people have died in Benue? There's been a lot of killings in the country. There was a flood situation the other day in Niger. Inflation is still very high. And all these politicians are allowing us to talk about is who will be their running mates for a 2027 election, which we are not even sure that we are going to see tomorrow as human beings. The question is, when are we going to focus on the problems that bedevil us today?
I think there's already a focus on that problem. The elite is focusing on succession, positioning. The bulk of the elite is not focusing on leadership, on development, and it cuts across all the zones. Remember that when the CBN governor, when the relocation of some departments to Lagos was announced, Katsina elders gave a press briefing, raising core issues about equity and so many other things. And I recall I wrote an article on the back of this day. I titled it as Katsina elders were saying. Now, Rufai, let us ask ourselves. Katsina is one of the most devastated states by bandits. Even while Buhari was in power. Even when the traditional ruler was kidnapped, for 3 months he couldn't be brought out. Even when the in-law of the chairman of the Northern Elders Forum was his children were kidnapped. I think the in-law was either killed. Nobody had them. Why is it that our political leaders, our religious leaders, our elders and presumed elders and statesmen come out to make statements that leave you in no doubt that they don't know what's going on in this country except what will suit them. So I agree completely with you. The issue on the table is that a lot of people have crisis of daily survival at the level of minimally being able to afford a meal, that there's no party cohesion, that development is not taking place, that you have local governments who receive between 80 million and 150, 180, 200 and something million every month, and nothing happens in that local government, and that we developed a political culture that focuses on grumbling about the federal government, as if state governments and local governments have no responsibility. Now, the reversal of that consciousness needs to take place. That's what's not happening, and that's where you can speak of. I mean, imagine that the people from an area want to take a position to the federal government. It will not be about how the quality of roads is making it impossible for farming communities to come out on time and make good money. No. It will be about who will get a position. And that person, if he doesn't get it, he will say our people are being marginalized. If he gets the position, he doesn't go to the people to say, yes, I brought the spoil of office. Those are the issues on the table. And it's not about the executive. Look at the National Assembly. I think there was in the news about the vehicles they were given, 140-something million at the time, I think 2 years ago. How many of them said, okay, look, in place of this vehicle, since it's mine, let me have the vehicle. And I'll go to my people and say, my constituents, look, I've got this 149 million. I'm leaving 100 here. I'm keeping 49 because I still have to come, I spend on your behalf, etc. At what point does the representation impact the lives of the people? Yes, there are constituency projects, but if I get a constituency project, I give it to you, who is my political crony. You also make some money from it. It's good that there are roads and all those things, but an organic engagement of the political demographics is not taking place. And that's a matter of great concern. That's a matter on which all the parties should ask themselves questions.
Agreed. Well, Dr. Okechukwu, thank you very much.